Okay, you know that I love our life. Something clicked. For the first time in a really long time, I felt like the bitch again.
Mom! What is going on?
We were operatives for the CIA.
Hold on!
All singing my theme song. Just like old times.
You would be dead.
On sight, I give you the green light.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nigel and we are locked in. This is the recap for Back in Action on Netflix that dropped January 17th. If you just seen that trailer, I don't know if you were drawn into it as much as I was, because I wasn't drawn into it at all. It was a lot of action. I will give this film credit for the fight scenes, but it seems like something we've already watched before. Undercover spies trying to protect the family. I literally thought I was watching Spy Kids all over again. The fight scenes were cool, but to me, the jokes, they just weren't hitting. It was a little bit corny, and I wasn't sure if this is supposed to be a comedy or if this was supposed to be an action film. I wasn't for sure or not, but I did watch it, and we're going to try to review this. Now, I'm going to do this a little bit different. Instead of doing a full recap of it, where I break down the whole movie, we'll just be touching on the main parts as far as the reviews go, so I'm able to do more movies for you all throughout the year, so you can recommend more to me. But before we jump into this and do the review of Back in Action, if you want movie breakdowns, TV series breakdowns, then this is the right channel for you. I'm Nigel. Hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button, and let's jump into it. This is the review for Back in Action on Netflix, starring Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz. This movie is about Matt and Emily, who are partners who work for the CIA. Now, the first thing we see is that Emily's in the bathroom and she's going over pregnancy tests. So we can automatically assume that it is Matt's kid, but they're getting ready to go to a birthday party and she doesn't even let him know. When they pull up to this birthday party, like any other movie you've seen, they got guns on them. Yes, they got guns going to a birthday party, but this isn't your everyday average birthday party that you and I would attend. This is a high profile enemy of the state. They got to go in here and actually steal something from them. Now, this guy Baltazar, whose birthday party it is, well, for his kid, they show up and they're trying to steal something from him. And what we see is her spray a little mist on her hand so she can get this guy's fingerprint, because they want to go do some covert operative stuff in the back and steal from him. They also have a guy that they work for by the name of Chuck, who's in their ear and letting them know step by step. As I mentioned earlier, this is similar to any other undercover agent movie that we've seen. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is similar to that. They ride off with the key that they stole from Baltazar. Of course, there's a lot of fight scenes, and I give this film credit because the fight scenes are on point. When you're watching it, it's like, okay, cool, they getting it in. But they steal this key, and this key is basically like the most powerful key that you can have, and it unlocks all kinds of different infrastructures. And now they're driving off, and their boss Chuck is telling them, we can't trust anybody on this one. Don't let anyone know we got this key. That awkward moment happens as they get on the plane to get away. They're on here, and Emily says, I have to tell you something. I'm pregnant. I can't drink no champagne. And Matt's acting like, am I the father? Knowing that he's the only one that's been with her because they've been undercover. So they're partners, and they've been playing this role a little too well, but they're on this plane. And one thing we know about action films or comedies, nothing ever goes according to plan. While they're on here, Baltazar's men are on here, who he just got robbed. He had them on the plane somehow, some way, and now they get to fighting. But there is one gun on here. A shot does get let off, and you know what happens next. The pilot gets hit. It's another fight scene, and now we're falling down the side of a cliff. They go to the back of the plane while the plane is sliding off of a cliff. There's miraculously one parachute there. Now, if we're being honest, we're just co-workers. I'm taking the parachute and I'm jumping off the plane. But since Matt knows Emily is pregnant with his alleged baby, he gives her the parachute. And what does she do? Instead of leaving without her baby daddy, she wraps her legs around him and they go up into the air. And then the jokes just start to fire off. He's talking about, don't let go. She said, you don't let go. He's like, okay, I guess I won't. And I'm like, dog, what is going on here? A plane just blew up. You guys got this key that you stole from Baltazar, and now you're just on a parachute going through the mountains. Wee, wee. The jokes, they just aren't sticking for me. But I would have took the parachute and I would have survived. We fast forward 15 years, and now Matt and Emily, they had 2 kids. They're actually officially together, no longer working with the CIA, but they still don't want their kids to know what they did in their past life. So the kids, they're calling them out. Hey, Dad, do you speak Russian? I heard you on the phone. The parents, they're trying to come up with an alibi. Well, we met in Colombia. Well, we did a little bit of Russian, but it was in Portugal. But we really never went to Belize. But Belize is somewhere that we did visit, and we did we did all of that. So the kids are calling them out, and we know what kind of kids they have. We got the teenage daughter who's coming of her own. She's kind of rebellious. You got the little son who is kind of a geek / nerd who really just wants to play video games and kind of nervous about everything. But the parents, we haven't seen this before. Oh no, we didn't do anything like that. They dropped the kids off at school earlier that day, and they find out that their daughter, who is 16 years old, is actually into boys. Now, they got binoculars, and they're spying, and Matt's talking about, hey, where you get those binoculars from? She's talking about, I got it from Amazon. And then she had another pair. And maybe this is more of a family movie, and I was looking at it from the wrong lens, because I was thinking we're going to be on some serious stuff. But the jokes just weren't hitting for me. So now Emily's trying to hack into her daughter's computer because she feels like her daughter is hiding things from her. And the daughter said she wasn't going to watch a movie with her. She wanted to go hang out with friends. Well, they hacked into the computer and they found out through the son that the daughter wasn't studying. She went to an actual club. They get to the club. They find out that their daughter's in there. She's in here turning up a little bit. I think it's ginger ale. We're not going to put that underage drinking on her. But Matt and Emily, they show up and everyone's like, nah, she's not leaving. You know, it's some random tough guy. He's talking about she looks old enough to me. Well, this is when the daughter starts to find out that her parents aren't who they say they are, because Emily, she whoops on this guy. And of course, Matt starts whooping on some of the other people. Again, the fight scenes, beautiful. They have some great choreography when it comes to throwing these hands and kicking. They throw a guy over the rail, but it turns out somebody was recording. So that means Matt had to take that phone and delete the video because they don't need anyone knowing what they are capable of, let alone their kids. The next day, they get a random knock at the door. They open it up, and who is it? Their former boss, Chuck. Now, Chuck is like, if I can find you guys, your enemies can find you. Now, they're saying, what enemies? It's been 15 years since we've been CIA. And he's like, we searched that plane and Baltazar's key, it wasn't found. So they're like, well, we don't have the key. We don't know what happened to it. And while Chuck is here, a couple of Suburbans pull up. They get to shooting. They knock Chuck out. Now we're on the run. Now we're getting reactive. As they smash out of the house, they take out some of these agents that are out to get them. And it turns out Matt actually kept the key from Baltazar. If you remember back, he put it into his bag. So now the key is hidden in England at Emily's mother's house. Now, she doesn't really deal with her mother too often. So they're making jokes. Well, you know, we could go to the CIA. Well, no, we can't because we're in hiding while they're getting shot at. Now, you hear Matt talking about arguing. Was that your mom's house? Hey, make a left, make a left. And then they go back to being serious and then they jump back and forth. And I'm kind of confused. But the guys behind them, they're never marksmen that these people hire. They're the worst shot ever. They're shooting up the car, missing everything. One car flips over. The hell with that. We got to go get the kids out of school because we got to be on the run now. Once they land in the UK, they rent a vehicle to go to Emily's mother's house. But once you travel like this, you know there's really no way that you can stay hidden. The drama doesn't end. There's people telling them about 2 miles out. The kids are doing their research trying to figure out who their parents actually are. And we see Matt do something. And I say this, do not try this at home. If you turn on a gas pump and light a match to it, you're going to blow up. It's not going to shoot out like a flamethrower like this. You will blow up. But they catching people on fire. So as far as the fighting, I have no complaints. Fighting 10 out of 10 for this movie. Storyline's a little soft, you know what I'm saying? The jokes really ain't hidden, but the action is definitely there if that's what you're looking for. They finally get to Ginny's house, aka Grandma. And when they get here, you can tell that there's some tension between Emily and her mother, Ginny, but we don't know that Ginny is really like that. The reason he hid this key over at her house is because she used to be one of those people that used to get active. M16, if you know what I mean. MI6, really. But she got the 2-barrel shotgun, And now Matt is trying to explain, yeah, I sent some photos of my kids to your mom, even though you didn't want me to, because I wanted her to see that. Because Matt did mention he didn't have a family. But the mother, she's here and she's standing on business. She really don't want her daughter here, but she's kind of delightful to see her grandkids. Emily and her mother finally had that heart-to-heart. You know how movies are. We riding that roller coaster. We going up, we going up, we going up. We get to that peak, and then we got to take the biggest drop, because there's never going to be another drop past that. And then you got to ride the little hills until the end of the movie. Well, her and her mom, the mom is really calling her out. Like, Ginny is the big dog, and she's letting her daughter know, remember, you the one that left. You didn't want me around. You kicked me out of your life. But I want to enjoy time with my kids. But don't you forget that you were the one that wanted it this way. So this whole time, she's been telling Matt that her mom was this big, bad person. The mom was really the good one, and she pushed the family away. After that sweet family moment, guess what? People kick in the door because they still looking for this Balthazar key. They start locking people up. They got Ginny, they got her little butler locked up. We find out that these two are messing around. Then they kidnap the kids. Now it's up to Emily and Matt to try to fight themselves out of this situation. Again, emotions are running high. Ginny and her daughter just reconnected, only for it to be torn apart. Why can't we have good things in this country? Wait a minute, this is the UK. This happens every single day. It turns out the guy that actually kidnapped the kids was Chuck. Now, we thought that Chuck got shot and killed, but he didn't. He faked it. He really wanted to get this key, and he actually took it to go and sell it. And he started off the bid at about $150 million. It got up to $250 million. They trying to fight out of here. He has the kids as leverage, and he's trying to make a profit and get the hell up out of here. So the key that Chuck is trying to sell to him actually opens and closes this barrier that's going to stop water from flooding the UK from the Atlantic Ocean. You open it up, water's going to rush in. So I guess this power is something that you can have over the government. Hey, give us money, do what we say, or we'll flood this place. In real life, you're thinking about it, it's like, hey, okay, we'll just build a new barrier, or we'll just take out whoever has this key. But for movie purposes, they doing the damn thing. And $250 million is definitely something that I could live with. I could probably make an everyday living off of $250 million. I'm more of a $500 million guy, but 250 sounds all right. Did I mention that the fight scenes are good? This is probably my favorite fight scene out of the whole movie. I guess because of the neon lights, and they in the museum, and then they got them, it's not a split screen, but they both on the same side, pretty much doing the same moves. The choreography, I gotta give them their credit on this. I'm an action type of guy, and I like what they did here. The fighting is going on while the auction is going on upstairs. We don't even know where the kids are. Help, mom, dad, please help. Mom and dad down here whooping ass. So I give them credit for that. They trying to get these kids back. A good action film wouldn't be a good action film without an epic chase scene. Well, they hop on motorcycles because Granny's up there with a sniper. She tells them guys to stand back. They steal motorcycles. Chuck is on a boat with the kids. He's trying to drive off and get through the barrier. So what does Emily do? She takes a boat, and we see Matt. He rides his motorcycle to the dock. He jumps onto the boat, and now we got us a boat chase. We ain't never seen this before. Matt and Emily finally catch up to Chuck. They jump on the boat. Chuck, what are you doing? Chuck's doing this for the gang. He had the key. They actually saved the key from Chuck, so we don't have to worry about these barriers. They threw the kids off in the water, and when they jump off, they send Chuck's boat into the barrier, and it blows up. And we're thinking, thank you for saving the world. Matt and Emily, we might need to bring y'all back on the job. After saving the United Kingdom, Matt and Emily take the kids back to the United States just in time for the championship game and the playoffs for their soccer team. And of course, their daughter wins the chip for them. Everyone's happy. Yeah! Even Ginny and Emily are hugging, even though Ginny doesn't like hugs. But she tells these two, you two lovebirds, take some time away. I'll watch over the kids. Y'all go on and enjoy your life. And we're thinking they're about to just ride off into the sunset. Happily ever after. The only problem, when they hop in their vehicle to go ride off and do what grown folks do, Barron is sitting in the back seat and he's telling both of them, I need you to come back to the CIA. I need someone in your family, Emily. And she's like, well, my mother's available. You can just go get my mother. Baron says, no, not your mother. I need your father. Matt's looking like, your father? She's like, well, I haven't told you about him. I thought I told you about him. So I hope this isn't setting us up for a part 2, but if so, good luck to those that watch it. All right, back in action on Netflix. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm giving this movie a 5. Maybe I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because of the fight scenes. I will say all of the fight scenes were good. This movie was over the top, real far-fetched, but I didn't understand if it was supposed to be a real drama / action thriller, or if it was supposed to be a comedy. But I went along for the ride and it was decent. If it's something you're gonna watch with the family and the kids, I definitely recommend it. Me personally, I won't watch this again, but let me know what you think down below. And as I said, let me also know what you think about these kind of breakdowns. It's not a full recap, it's just trying to touch on the main points, but it allows me to go over movies, especially 2-hour movies. But let me know what you think. I'm ModeIJ. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.